Hello people. Today I wanted to go through a Danganronpa iceberg I found on Reddit. I found this by Stevert9 on Reddit. If you don't know what an iceberg video is, it's when you go from the tip of an iceberg, which is like the most well-known facts of like a topic, and then as you go down it's like more niche, unknown facts from a topic. So in this case, the tip of this Danganronpa iceberg is the most well-known facts of Danganronpa, and as you go down it's like the more like unknown stuff. Now, I did actually have like a full script written for this like a year ago, but that had a lot of misinformation, and I felt like it was just better to just redo the whole thing. Danganronpa 1, 2, and V3. This in itself is pretty self-explanatory. It's all the mainline Danganronpa games as of now. Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, which released in 2010 in Japan and 2014 in Western Europe. Super Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, which released in 2012 in Japan and 2013 for the Western Europe. Danganronpa V3, which released in 2017. Ultra Despair Goes. Danganronpa Ultra Despair Goes, or Danganronpa UDG for short, is a spin-off game for the series. It's a fully third-person shooting game where your goal is to escape Toa City. This game is criticized amongst the community for many things. One of the biggest in my eyes is the mishandling of dark topics such as child abuse and various other things. And other reasons is the unnecessary amount of fan service. Danganronpa 3. Danganronpa 3 is an anime made to continue SDR2's story, with a future, hope, and despair arc. This anime, however, isn't well received as many people don't like it, including myself. Some reasons given to criticize it is that it retcons and makes lore points confusing and explanations feel forced. 11037. This is a meme within the community due to its simplicity and how you can easily figure out who the culprit is when looking at it for more than 3 seconds. Mikuro Ikusaba is the 16th student. This is another meme within the community. In THH, at the end of chapter 4, Kyoko tells Makoto about Mukuro Ikusaba being the secret student. This is supposed to be a big moment and important scene, however the fandom took this and made memes out of it by replying to people with this quote or editing the screenshot like this. Mundo's gang is a JoJo reference. In THH, Mundo Awada has a gang named Crazy Diamond, which is a nod to Josuke Hagishaki's stand from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I hope I said his name right, Jesus Christ. Tsumugi lied. This is a theory regarding Tsumugi's big reveal in V3 where she reveals all of Danganronpa is just fiction. The theory is that Tsumugi lied about this, and there's many reasons why. For example, the students willingly signing up to the game was a lie, as we see them being kidnapped at the start of the game, and the tips of them showing to agree to the game could just be fake, made by the flashback light. Meat on the bone. This refers to Danganronpa 2, where it refers to a weapon being hidden as some meat. This has become a meme to describe difficulty within puzzles. DR3 and DRV3 are two different things. DR3 is Danganronpa 3 the anime, and DRV3 is Danganronpa V3 the game. Danganronpa the animation. This is an anime adaptation of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. A lot of people within the fandom do not like this. One reason is the pacing. It goes very fast during the trials and it feels like a summary of the game besides a full adaptation. Kamina is a Gurren Lagann reference. I believe this is a term to describe characters that are loud, charismatic, and overconfident and hypes up the protagonist. People call characters like this because in the anime Engin Toba Gurren Lagann, Kamina is a major character who I guess motivates the character a lot, so think of characters like Kaito. Cork. Cork is a meme within the fandom where Korikyo is portrayed as this. Now I tried to find the origin of this image, but unfortunately I couldn't find nothing, so if you do know, let Kani Ventus know. Hidden cutscene. In Danganronpa, there's cutscenes you can only get if you have an IM at that certain point in time. For example, in TAH, if you have the IM A Man's Fantasy, you'll get a secret cutscene where you can see the girls in the bathhouse. Improved Hangman's Gambit. In SDR2 and V3, the game mechanic Hangman's Gambit has been improved, however people have expressed that they found it difficult and overwhelming and tanking damage. Danganronpa S. This is another spin-off within the series, and it's the most recent game in the series where you play a board game and level up characters. It's mixed within the fandom as it's a gacha game where you purchase characters with real doubloons, and it's heavily repetitive. Kaede's execution lasted 8 hours. It's a theory within the fandom that Kaede's execution lasted 8 hours as her stepping on the keys between her getting hanged allowed her to get small breaths of air, causing the execution to continue for 8 hours. Chapter tropes. In this series, there's tropes that each chapter follows. For example, in every chapter 3 there's a double kill. Distrust. Distrust was the original idea for Danganronpa. It was more dark and grittier, and you would have choices throughout the game, which could lead to different scenarios and endings. This was eventually scrapped though and reworked into Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Mundo and Tak are fucked. Now I know I may seem like a loser here, but I'm not searching this up. I'm guessing this is referencing to the sauna scene in chapter 2, where we leave off with them having the time of their lives, I guess, and we meet them again all buddy-buddy. Danganronpa 2.5. Danganronpa 2.5 was a Nagito anime OVA that came bundled with the limited edition of Danganronpa V3 only sold in Japan. It's set after SCR2 and before DRV3 and has Nagito as a protagonist. Never Gonna Give You Up scene. In Danganronpa 2, there's a scene referencing the song Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. Mikan teleported in 2-3. There's a theory within the fandom that during Mikan's murder while running from one area to another, she actually just teleported as she could not have ran fast enough and she's known for her clumsiness. Danganronpa If. Danganronpa If is a light novel written by Raigoro Narita. Sorry if I got that name wrong. It explores a storyline where Makoto regains his memories and after receiving the escape button at the start of the game. This novel can only be read after completing Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. Monokuma's beta design. During the development of Distrust, Monokuma was originally supposed to look like this. He would have been a human with one half being a naked man and the other being the insides of him. Danganronpa Zero. Danganronpa Zero is a novel that serves as a prequel to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. The story revolves around solving a mystery as who caused the Hope's Peak tragedy. Panta. Panta is a parody based off the Fanta drink. Ibuki Miyoda is a K-On! Reference. The character Ibuki Miyoda is believed to be a direct reference to the anime K-On! Due to Ibuki's high energy and fashion sense. Final Dead Room is based off Zero Escape. In the video game Zero Escape, you're presented with an escape room which you interact with puzzles and make an escape. Danganronpa 2 references this in its Final Dead Room where you're trapped inside an escape room, interact with items and solve puzzles to escape. Danganronpa Abridged. This is a parody of Danganronpa the animation. The term abridged in itself is a term used in anime culture to describe something that's been heavily edited or a retelling of an anime. Escape button ending. In TAH you can get this item escape button from the Mono Mono machine. Once you have this and go into the gallery, you can view a new ending where it shows everyone escaping. Mukuro was in love with Junko. This is a theory, I guess, that depicts Mukuro being in love with Junko. It is believed this because there's a scene where she blushes at Junko, I guess, and how Mukuro is devoted to Junko. It's not confirmed that people believe this, as is at least suggested in the anime. Kiri 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 Jing Jing. This is a fan animation that shows the TAH cast doing regular life things and has a cute jingle in the background. Hiyoko was supposed to survive instead of Fuyuhiko. Though this has never been confirmed, it's highly suggested that this is true through inconsistencies in the third chapter. For example, we never find out what item was used to kill Hiyoko, and how the death as a whole felt rushed and was implemented last minute. Akane was the original antagonist in DR2. Akane was originally supposed to play the antagonist or anti-hero role and would hinder Hajime in class trials, but this was eventually scrapped in place of the rebuttal showdown so more characters can have a voice in the trials. Danganronpa Kirigiri. This is a light novel series with 7 volumes, with the first one releasing in 2013. This novel is a prequel to both TAH and Zero. The story focuses on Kyoko and Yu Samudera exploring during the world cases. These are new names to me, I'm sorry. The Monocubs are Warriors of Hope. It is believed within the fandom that the Monocubs in V3 are based on the Warriors of Hope in UDG. Monosuke is based off Jotaro. Monotaro is based off Masaru. Monodam is based off Monoka. Monofane is based off Kyoko. Monokid is based off Nagisa. Every VA in V3 voiced a character in one of the previous games. In V3, every English voice actor has appeared in previous games. Shuichi, voiced by Grant George, voiced Leon in TAH. Kaede's twin. In V3, there's a reveal in chapter 6 that Kaede had a twin, however this was never developed upon. Kokichi at the Zoo / Lavender. Now I don't even know what to say about this. Day at the Zoo was a fanfic of Kokichi going to the zoo, but the original was deleted and now considered lost to media. I don't exactly know what the original was about, but I think I may have found something similar to it. Jack Get That Ass Tore Up is a fanfic on AO3, and in the notes it says Kazuichi Day at the Zoo but criminal case. The fanfic is obviously made by someone who's not mentally well, and it depicts a kid getting brutally mauled after falling 20 feet and getting raped by a gorilla. Some terrible, disgusting shit. Now on the same website, there is a remake of the original which depicts Kichi going to the zoo with his mum and going home like something completely normal and sweet, which it is. Looking at the notes, it can be suggested that the other fanfic I just read is similar to the original. I wanted to remake this fanfic into something more sane because the original was, well, absolutely horrific. I think no one should have to go through that, especially an underage minor, so that's why I wanted to remake it. And Lavender is another fanfic on AO3. Now I'm not gonna read this, as just looking at the wording, I can probably just guess what it's about. Yasuhiro scammed Natsumi. Now, from what I can find in UDG, there's a flyer that describes how Yasuhiro owes a lot of money to a group of people like a mob. I couldn't find anything on this on Reddit or the wiki, so I'll take this with a grain of salt, but I have to explain something for it. Makoto Naegi's Secret File. This is a light novel that tells the story of Makoto's circumstances of how he got enrolled in Hope's Peak. This was bundled with a DVD version of Danganronpa the animation. Gundam's spell and its execution was to protect the divas. It's a theory within the fandom that Gundam's execution, he cast a spell to protect his pet's hamster from death instead of protecting himself. Byakuya watched Sonya masturbate. In SCR2 K6, Sonya says, "I did a lot of disgraceful things in front of those cameras," and Byakuya responds, "You sure did." Hina is the first female protagonist. I couldn't find too much on this, but apparently in Danganronpa 3 Future Arc, the first episode PF3 is from Aoi as Hina, an unused sprite of Byakuya without glasses. In the files of Danganronpa, there's an unused sprite of Byakuya without his glasses. What's even weirder is that this sprite can be seen in every game's files. Danganronpa Togami. This is an ambiguous light novel series which depicts Byakuya encountering the ultimate despair. It had 3 novels, which the first one releasing in 2015. Tsumugi has an incest fetish. I have no idea on this. As far as I know, it's something from the Love Hotel, and I don't know too much on this because I don't care about the Love Hotel. Monokata was supposed to die. Danganronpa 3 Future Arc. It's rumored that Monokata was originally supposed to die because I guess it would have fit narratively. I couldn't find too much in this, so if I do find anything, I'll add it in editing. Ultra Despair Hagakure. This is a side story you get for being Ultra Despair Girls, which follows from 2 characters' point of view, that being Kiro and Kanon Nakajami. Alter Ego mobile app. This was a free-to-play mobile app in the Apple Store, which was exclusive to Japan. It was an alter ego simulator, and it released in 2012, but it was shut down 5 years later due to lack of updates. Terry cooked and ate his own mother. So there's a theory that apparently when Terry was a remnant of despair, he killed, cooked, and ate his own mother. I wouldn't doubt this, but I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't true at the same time. The remnants thought Mukuro's body was Junko's. So all I found was this was a Reddit post, which honestly sounds about right. There's a theory that since Junko's body was crushed at the end of TAH, everything that the remnants of despair did to Junko's body couldn't have been possible because Junko's body got crushed, and they actually did everything they thought they did to Junko's body to Mukuro's body, since when Mukuro died, she was disguised as Junko. For example, when Nagito severed his hand and replaced it with Junko, so it's actually Mukuro's hand. Hiro's prediction about him and Makoto's children having the same mother came true. In TAH, in Hiro's free time event, Hiro makes a prediction that the mother of his children would be the same mother to Makoto's children. This would be later confirmed in the bad ending. The monocubs are Junko's split personalities. There's a theory that the monocubs represent Junko's split personalities. Monotaro, Monodam, Monokid, Monofane, Monozuke. Kyo is basically Komi-san. Komi from the anime Komi Can't Communicate is compared to Korokyo within the fandom. Reasons is that Komi is mute and Korokyo is extremely quiet, and Komi struggles to communicate and Korokyo has a very unusual way of communicating. Black Junko. This is referencing the beta design which was made during the Distrusts era, where she was depicted as black. Gundam killed divas. Apparently there's a theory that the reason why Gundam's hamsters were in the execution was because Gundam dragged them with him. Danganronpa 1-2 Beautiful Days. This is a novel based on Danganronpa characters and TAH and SCR2 and their daily lives, and was released on December 15th, 2014. They left a blooper in the final scene in the DR3 dub. In the anime, there's a scene when Nagito and Makoto interact, and Nagito's voice actor talked to himself after the script, saying, "Why is it sticky?"
And at the very end of the anime, I talked to myself. So I threw a blooper in there. And it made it all the way through. So like, if you don't know my characters, it won't make as much sense, but as Nagito, who's kind of this creepy, insane guy, I say, oh, his hands are so soft. And as Maggie, I go, why was he sticky? And they left it in.
Upperclassmen, sir. His hands were so soft.
Just me, or is he sticky here with age?
I hope it makes the DVD. Fingers crossed.
Naked Mahiru in-game files. In SCR2, there's a secret shower scene where you can see Mahiru and Hiyoko taking a shower. Obviously, this is censored in the game, but for some unknown reason, you can find this in the game files and see this scene uncensored. Hiyoko is still censored, but Mahiru isn't. Toko spontaneously combusted in the bad ending. I couldn't find too much on this, but apparently the writer of Danganronpa in an interview said, speaking of Fukuwa, there was a lot of times I didn't know what to do with her, so I took her out the picture. She just explodes for some reason. You can see Ibuki's body hanging from Tenko's dojo. When Danganronpa V3 first came out, someone made a Reddit post about Ibuki's body hanging from Tenko's dojo. Now this was obviously debunked when people played the game and never saw this. Korikyo killed Rentoro's sister. So there's a theory that Korikyo killed Rentoro's sister. This is because Rentoro was traveling to look for his sisters and Korikyo was out killing ghosts to make friends for his sister. So it's believed that Korikyo killed Rentoro's sister. Now for these entries, story/Easter eggs, memes, media, theories, unused assets / designs. These points I'm just going to skip as they're general topics in any fandom and it's going to be difficult to write about anyway. Giri Giri So. This is a PC and visual novel game that came bundled with the DVD version of Danganronpa 3 End of Hope Speak anime, and it follows the actions of Kyoko Kirigiri. Every copy of Twilight Syndrome murder case is personalized, so I legit have no answer on what this could mean. But all I could find was a theory, so take this with a grain of salt. So apparently there's a theory that whoever plays Twilight Syndrome murder case in SCR2 is personalized. For example, Hajime playing the game, his experience could be different to Mahiru playing the game. The courtroom window in V3 is Sayaka's idol group pixelated. In the courtroom of V3, for some reason the window to Sayaka's idol group. Danganronpa S is Ifumi's fanfiction. I legit couldn't find anything about this but a Reddit post that had a theory of Ifumi being the mastermind. Danganronpa predicted COVID. In V3 chapter 5, when Shuichi gets a flashback light, he remembers that meteors fell from the sky and left an illness that spread, causing a pandemic. V3 was released in 2017 and in 2020 the COVID pandemic happened. And I'm done after like an hour. Thank you if you watched all the way. This is probably gonna be my biggest video. Take me like 3 days to write. I mean, there's nothing more to say that, I guess.